Hello and welcome back to another episode of Carlisle Studios. My name is Hal Hunter. I'm lucky enough to be sitting on the floor of our living room with
Bella Hunter.
And
Charles Cooper. I'm on the couch though.
You're
I
on the
was just
couch.
going to say,
Claimed it.
the guest gets the...
Is this your first sleepover at our
Guest
house?
privileges. Yeah. It is.
Exciting.
Surprisingly.
The night's only just begun. Just quickly, this episode is sponsored by us, Carlisle Tattoo Co.
Oh, wow.
and Carlisle Threads.
Nice one.
Yep.
And just me as my own individual Bella Hunter tattoo.
Self-employed. Yeah.
I'm sponsoring this.
You can find us at 178 Carlisle Street in St Kilda, and Carlisle Threads is carlislethreads.com. Thank you everyone who's been supporting both the shop and the clothing.
Bless up.
That was a really, really bad intro, but that's all right.
What happened to the pre-recorded one? Too dated.
Do you want me to really tell why?
Yeah.
I think the fans.
Some
wanna
people
know.
might want to know.
Okay, interesting. So for season 1, all 39 episodes plus a pilot, we were doing it with...
Fuck, is that how many episodes we did?
Yeah, we did.
Fuck.
We were doing it, getting it produced by one of my good friend Dylan Buckley's podcast company called Producey. And for season 2, we're going real lo-fi because I was very unprepared. Well, not unprepared. We had planned. I talked to Dylan and his team about kicking off season 2 like we did for season 1.
Yeah.
And they have...
The mastering, all that shit.
Yeah, where they like edit the levels and all that sort of stuff. But because I'm not very good with tech and I was always send it to them late and stuff, there was a few weeks where like we didn't get it back in time and all this. And they run like a full professional outfit for the podcast.
Very unlike us.
And because we don't really have
Structure to
a
our week.
structure with the podcast and the direction and stuff's not as defined, I didn't want to like jump into something that was going to be...
Hal, quick. Come on, speed this
I know, I'm just being honest.
Like a drainer.
The drainer for them, and they were like, I would put pressure on them because I made it late for them and stuff. So I was like, look, I'm just gonna record them, and then we're just gonna put them up raw, unedited.
Yeah.
And I still have all the audio for the intro, but because we're just putting them up raw,
It's just less work because
I just say the intro.
Yeah.
we're lazy and unprepared.
I like that.
And yeah.
I
Be
could
more authentic, you
I
know.
could play a little jingle and talk at the same time. I might do that next week.
No.
Crazy frog in
I
the
reckon
background
we
or something.
we sing one, not like sing, but like you
Yeah.
have to make like a da 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 da.
And
Carlisle Studios is back.
the reason that was such a rusty intro is because even though this is only
We didn't do
episode
our
4,
vocal warm-up.
we haven't recorded a podcast for nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, 2 months. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what's funny? I was thinking about this. The last episode, so all 3, the one you and me, then the Jason Castagna one, and my brother's one, we recorded them all in the week before we went to Byron. Yeah? And now we're back recording the podcast the week before we go to Noosa. So I think it's a bit of a
Surf's
trend.
up, brother.
Hence why I'm down here.
Exactly. Do you
It's
want
not
to
just a little casual sleepover.
do you want to explain that, Charles?
Well, the boss man and the boss lady are going up to Noosa. Little all expenses holiday. And so
All expenses paid by us.
by
By ourselves.
by Hal's mum or something.
Yeah, I just borrowed
I
like
have
20
to
grand
come
off my
down,
mum
look
to
after
go for
the
a holiday.
Teslas, make sure everything's on charge for the week. Nah, take the dogs to the park, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Made sure I'm on board with the routine down here.
Well, I messaged you the other night and I said, hey, this is our last week before we go away. We've agreed that you're going to be dog sitting
Yeah.
and house sitting.
We've never had a house sitter,
No.
nor do I also think that they're necessary, but my dogs need looking after.
Yeah,
yes.
the dogs do. And,
I was about to drop the thing you told me before, but I think that's a security risk if I say that on the podcast.
It's much.
the address
very
and
much
the
so a
code
security
to
risk,
get into
yes.
our house.
Nah, we won't go into that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The code to get into my sauna.
Yeah, it's a cockpick.
I like that.
I like that. Okay, I'm awake now. Oh, fuck, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I texted you saying, do you want me to just send you a video of like how everything operates, as in our routine with the dogs? Or do you want to come down for a little tutorial session? So you came down.
Well, you have two like big dogs, you know. a lot to wrap your head around. I want to
Well,
make sure
considering
Me and
you're
Bella
a
or
cat
the
person,
pets?
I haven't got any dogs though, so I need to know like
Yeah.
them to fucking know me or whatever.
No, it's good. It's definitely good. So you came down. Well, how's this for like, we're living the same life, me and Charles. We both did a full day session tats today. Come down. We're having pizza oven for dinner. Or we already had it.
Yum.
Gonna
Bellsy's made an apple crumble that's in
got
the
apple
oven.
crumble coming after this, and then sauna session.
Are you going to have a sauna after? I thought we were going to play a game of Scrabble.
I have a sauna every night.
Scrabble
but-
in the sauna.
Yeah, anyway, so quickly, let's stop rambling on because that was 6 minutes and the people are not going to get back.
Setting the
Charles,
scene though. Sets
since
scene
the
for
last
pod.
time you've been on the podcast, what have you been up to? Notable things?
Notable
What have you got to
thing.
come? What have you got coming up? Just anything.
Okay.
Anything that you want people to know about Charles Cooper tattooing from the last... It's been about 12 months since you came on.
Yeah, true. What is new? I've started some more large scale work.
You have?
Back pieces.
That
There's
back piece you did last week or 2 weeks
the
ago.
Dan Higgs Wolf.
Explain that.
Explain.
The whole thing.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, I'll explain it for
As
you.
if I'm blind.
What do you mean? Oh, explain the tattoo.
I'm trying to get you to talk about
Oh,
it. You did
yeah.
the painting.
I did the painting ages ago, like a concept for a back, I guess,
Yep.
which was just the big Dan Higgs Wolf with the web background, just full back.
Yep.
And then I'd painted that. I did prints for it, and a few people bought prints and stuff, but then it never eventuated into anything until recently. A mutual friend had seen the print hanging up in like my mate's house. He goes, "Oh, that's fucking great, crazy. Who did
Yeah.
that?" And then my mate put him onto me, and now I'm doing it fucking full back.
And what?
And
It's his first
it's his
tattoo,
first
isn't
tat.
it?
And it's his first tattoo.
That's pretty impressive.
He has like a tiny like stick and poke one that he got in Bali or some shit on his ankle. But this is like, we're not counting that as a legitimate tattoo. This is
Nah.
the first.
So are you
Proper
saying
one.
stick and poke isn't legitimate tattoo?
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
That's very impressive. I almost feel like, in a way, that's the ultimate tat. Back piece, no other tattoos.
I'm saying just get that.
Yeah.
So you're saying every other tattoo on someone else's body is irrelevant other than the back?
100%.
Nah, it's like obviously just getting
I'm
your
just
back
going to
done.
keep doing this all night, just
Yeah.
calling you out to have these
Good.
massive calls.
I thrive on
No,
it.
wait till we get to the call out section.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got planned.
I'm ready.
I got some bones to pick.
Yeah. No, I think that's like obviously getting your back done at any time, very impressive. But as like your one and only tattoo, I almost think that's like
Well, man, I was surprised
Yeah.
when he came back after the lines because
you struggled.
we did one day just putting the wolf on, and he did not like that. And then he came
Yeah.
back the next week and got the web like
The
drawn
background.
on. The background, yeah, the web like drawn on, whatever.
You look like a bit of a broken man at the end of that day.
That was a long day, and he did not like that either. But we pulled out some fucking some painkillers or whatever, got him
Yeah.
through the day, and yeah, work in progress.
How many sessions to go?
I want to say one more, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought it was only going to be one more the other day, but it was like a back-to-back session, and I was like, "Oh, just come in tomorrow and we'll finish it," because I had the day free.
Yeah.
But I really underestimated how long it was going to fucking take to pack in all the black
To shade his whole back.
in the hat. Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway.
Nah, it always like, yeah, way more time consuming than you think. Anything else?
Just been working really.
Yeah.
I've available 7 days now, or like for a little bit now.
Yeah.
So that's good for everyone once Monday RDOs, Sundays, whatever. I only live around the corner from the shop, so
So you're on call 24/7.
What's your address?
hit the line. I'm there in 10 minutes. I can't give that up.
You don't want to tell me your
No,
address.
that's fine.
I have an international guest spot planned
That's exciting.
with my colleague and close friend,
Jack.
I would say best friend.
Jack Tattoo, who is actually
Jack X.
He's not happy that
He's not happy
on
at
the
the moment.
podcast today. Yeah, he's texted me before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sad now.
Because I'd organised vaguely that they would both be on it together. But then
Yeah, vaguely, as in like group text, hey, do you boys want to do the potty soon?
Everything with Hal is vague, let's be honest.
But then Jack had a day off work today for an unknown reason.
Hey, you have one day off, they forget about you.
Yeah.
Short
It's true.
memories.
And I said, well, if only he was staying at our house tonight, he could be on the podcast. But he
Should have
didn't come to
invited him
work
just for
and he
the
wasn't
sleepover.
staying over. So
But he isn't. Sorry, Jack.
that's all right. He'll get his own
Anyway.
episode. It'd be easier just him on his own.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Los Angeles. Big one. Me and Jack.
you're just doing LA?
Well, so we have the first week planned LA,
Yeah.
and our second week is still yet to be decided, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Few locations up in there, maybe Vegas or San Francisco or something.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing you want people to tell you where
Yeah,
they want you to
where
go.
Yeah.
do you want us to go?
And do shops just hit you up and say like how much they'll give you for like appearance fees and stuff?
Yeah, send me the numbers. Whatever the best offer is, we're going there.
Yeah.
But I think Vegas could be cool.
We're going to Wyoming.
Yeah. Yeah. Orange County.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. So what are the dates of that?
So LA is the 4th of August till the 11th is when we're there.
Yep.
I think the first few days we're in LA is just we're not working.
Yeah, okay.
Being a
Just
tourist.
holidaying.
Tourist mode.
In-N-Out Burger,
Statue of Liberty,
Venice Beach, that's in New York.
Times Square.
Yep.
Yeah, sightseeing stuff, and
Yeah.
then we'll get to work.
Okay, nice.
Get
No,
to
that's
work.
really exciting. First international guest spot.
First time in the
That's
States
big
as
time.
well.
So it's you
Really?
and Jack.
Hopefully they let me in.
They'll let you in.
We'll see how we go. But yeah, and Jack's first time over there as well.
Yeah. So you're taking bookings?
Yes, still have bookings for LA.
Yep.
1 or 2 days.
And then you're not sure on the second location?
Second week, we're not sure
Yeah, okay.
what we're doing.
That's cool though. It's very exciting. I sort of daydream about like, oh, it'd be cool to go and work overseas again. But then I think about like
The logistics of
taking
bringing a
Lenny
child.
on like a 15-hour flight.
No, it's just taking me on a 15-hour flight.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, me and Lenny think like, God, I have to hang out with Bella for 15 hours.
I don't do well on planes. So if Jack's
Why?
worried about me like harassing him,
What do you mean?
Why,
Like you're
what-
energetic?
nah, I full put the blinkers on. I can't speak to anyone.
I can
I'm
picture
like,
that.
I don't want anyone talking to me at all.
I can picture that. And Jack would be
I
so
hate it.
overly friendly.
I
Maybe
reckon
they
flying-
won't let you in.
flying's like
They're like, this bloke's been sitting
Yeah,
with his
drenched-
eyes open.
drenched in sweat, hasn't blinked for fucking 10 hours.
I'm a bit the same. I'm a really bad traveller.
I wouldn't know because I've slept every single flight that we've ever been on, Bella.
I'm pretty sure I've had a Valium every single flight I've been on in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even if it's to go to Sydney.
I think most people do that.
Yeah. I hate it so much.
Flying is. Oh, did you hear about the?
But no, sorry. It's not just the flying. It's the airport as well.
I don't like airports.
The
Does anyone?
whole thing.
I don't think anyone likes the
I
whole
hate
process.
flying in general, bro.
Yeah.
I have some
last-
friends that love it because they see it as like, oh, I'm going on an amazing experience and an adventure. And I'm like, you're a fucking freak. This is shit.
Last
Until
flight
you're
I
there.
had-
We got to the call out section early. Bella's got people who like flying.
Yeah, dogs. My last long flight back was from Thailand back to Australia.
You were crook as well.
I was getting sick. So sick, actually, I had to go
Oh,
to
is that when you
hospital
got
when I thought I
sick?
had malaria when I got back. And I was in hospital for a fucking week. Anyway, on the plane, it was like an overnight job, 10
Yeah.
p.m. flight or whatever. I didn't sleep at all.
Yeah, that's
Just
rough.
fucking wide-eyed the whole time, thinking like, I feel so fucked right now. Baby's crying behind me.
Mm.
And yeah, I thought I had malaria when I got back. Went to hospital.
Why did you think
Crazy.
that?
I felt like I was dying.
You were just sick.
Is
and
that
you've
what
looked
malaria
up,
feels
You've
like,
looked up like
dying?
illnesses you get in Thailand,
Yeah.
Ebola virus or something.
Yeah, I thought I'd... Yeah.
You did get really sick because I remember we had a dinner that we had to cancel.
Oh, don't bring this
And
dinner
then,
up. Charles will get feisty.
Well, I remember coming back into work and everyone said it looks like I had AIDS. So that's how sick you can fucking...
That was Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this? Oh, Thailand. True. Planes.
That's right. Yeah, as we get very off track. Have you got anything to update on, Bella, since you were last on the pod 2 months ago?
No, not really.
Okay.
What has changed in my life?
I don't know. Just anything you've been tattooing that you're keen to talk about? I'm not prompting to you to say anything. I just thought maybe like
I really don't, because I'm sort of at a point in my life where I'm only working 3 days a week, and the other time I'm a stay-at-home mum. So unless you want to hear about me and Lenny.
Stay-at-home mum, or is that just called like
in my mind,
being a parent?
I'm parenting the other days.
I thought you did that back piece you did the other outlined was the best back piece you've ever done.
The Battle Royale. I spoke about that, I think, on the last one that I was on. I think that's when I started it.
No, the girl one. Not on a girl.
Oh, on a guy. I posted a video of that, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know if you've spoken about it.
Well, here we are.
We're a little bit rusty on the podcast. When we used to come in like real prompted and stuff.
Firing.
It's called,
but do you have the notes prompts usually?
It's lo-fi.
Well, I'm actually a little bit rattled because I'm currently going through an allergic reaction.
Bella, I'm going to call you out here and say for someone who your whole life has had an allergy to hair dye, and then I get home and Bella goes, have you noticed anything different? She's dyed her hair. And now she's going like, oh, my skin's really sore on my head. She got the ice pack.
She got the ice
pack. I actually do. I have an ice pack and I've been touching my neck.
I'm sort of a bit like...
I'm not feeling good.
We're not
I'm doing a Charles right now.
We're not like victim blaming, but it's almost like I feel like you could have prevented this by not dyeing your hair.
Do you know what? I actually did a test patch the other week on my arm and it was all good, but now suddenly it's on my head and this shit's not good.
Yeah, but that's like I put one drop on my arm, cool, I'm going to put a whole tub on my head.
On your scalp, sensitive area.
Yeah.
I'm well aware right now. So anyway, no, not much has been happening in my life other than this right now. This is my biggest catastrophe.
Yeah. Are you excited for Noosa?
I am excited, especially to tat up there.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Got so the one day of tatting.
I guess because you didn't really want to say anything for your weekly update, I'll put in all the things we're doing.
Okay, fantastic. Usually you do anyway, so.
Well, I thought maybe you'd do it, but we are going to, this is actually very good timing. This is coming out on Monday and we'll be in Noosa on Monday.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be there on Sunday, but so we'll be in Noosa all of next week, which is the week you'll be hearing this. We will be guest spotting for the first time at Victory Tattoo in Maroochydore.
Very excited.
So that is, really excited. We were just going up for a family holiday with Lenny and my parents and my brother and his partner.
And I said, Hal, sleep when you're fucking dead, brother.
Yeah. And then we just thought, fuck it, we're just going to work for a day because I talked to Justin a bit from Victory and I was like, oh, can we come tattoo for a day? He was like, yep. Maybe we'll get him on the pod.
I'm actually terrified that they think that it's only you coming and then I rock up as well and they're like, oh, what are you doing here?
They definitely know that you're coming.
Okay, great. If not, this is their warning.
Yeah, if they listen to the podcast one day before we're working there. Possibly, unsure because I haven't messaged him about it, but might try and get Justin on the podcast.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Great.
Other than that, it's my first time in Noosa.
Are you going to rinse me?
You're a seasoned blow-in.
A seasoned blow-in? That sounds terrible. Yeah. I was thinking about it today. I don't think I've been to Noosa since I was like 17, maybe younger.
Schoolies.
No, wait, younger, definitely younger.
I wouldn't know.
Still in school.
Haven't been and you never invited me, so.
No, I never invited you.
You used to go a lot of places. So it wasn't like, oh, Bella's away, she must be in Noosa.
No, I would go away like every school holidays.
Supping in Hawaii every summer.
I did do that, yeah.
Did we talk about that on the podcast?
No, I don't think so.
I won't bring it up. One of the quotes I'll remember for the rest of my life from you.
Thanks, Hal. Thank you.
No, I think we
did. I'm sorry that I've lived your dream
because,
life.
How the other side live, eh?
I reckon in the first episode we were talking about stand-up paddleboarding with the shark.
Maybe.
Yeah, anyway. Sorry for boring everyone. 24 minutes of... Charles's was good.
It sets a scene, you know. People want to hear this. How?
Do they?
People like to see that you're a real person, you're normal.
Everyone requested they were messaging like, get the podcast back. Who's listening?
But do you know what, Hal? I'm not putting on a facade to be interesting for the podcast. I am exactly how I am in my day-to-day life, mate.
All you can be is yourself, Bella. I say this all the time.
You got it, mate.
And anyone else you want to be.
Let's oge, Hal.
Yeah.
Wherever you decide you want to be.
Bella's been watching the Spanian It's All Eats videos, and I explained to her what pig Latin was yesterday.
Well, actually,
that's why she said, let's oge.
Me in school,
Did she say that?
Yeah.
When?
Just then.
I had a very different way of speaking pig Latin in school, so
How did you speak it?
Hi, Vagay, my Vagay, name Vagay is Bel Vagel Avaga.
What?
No, that's not Pig Latin.
That's what we all spoke in school.
What was that?
Did you
When
not
we would say it
listen?
in school,
I can't
it used to
speak-
be like a lad thing.
I
you know,
can't
Pig Latin.
speak any alternative dialects other than the
Alternative
English
dialects.
that I
You
speak.
sound very intellectual.
Well, Pig Latin is not a language.
Ig pay Atenley.
That's how he speaks it.
That's
Yeah,
how
see, that's
that's how it was spoken down.
How were you saying it?
I don't know. I can't even explain it.
But what did you say?
It's like her native
I said,
tongue.
hi, my name is Bella.
Her native
Wow.
tongue. bro.
Okay. I've never heard you say that. I know you can do
Overgo,
the
my
Japanese.
God, give go, avago, overgo, dump for gum.
It sounds like she's from The Sims or something, bro.
Bella's like, yeah, I can speak Pig Latin. She's just making up noises.
What did you think I just said then?
I have no idea.
I said, oh my God, you are so dumb. Because you couldn't understand.
Wow.
Maybe you two should learn how to speak this so you can talk shit about cunts in the
Yeah,
show.
I'm going to get
No,
Duolingo
because-
and start learning Pig
Because there's going to
Latin.
be so many people who can speak it the way that I speak it, because that's very common.
I've never heard anyone speak it like
Neither,
you.
unless I'm playing Sims 2 or Sims Sims Pets
I've never actually played Sims.
or Sims fucking house expansion.
I don't know what
What?
Sims is.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like really out of this conversation. You're speaking different languages. You're talking about Game Boys or something.
Game boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a Tamagotchi. What about you? What are you laughing at?
Charles, I got some questions for you.
Yep. For me.
Well, one of them's from Bella, which I'm not going to read out.
Unfortunately.
Can you
Charles.
show me it?
No, I'll show it to you later because
okay.
you won't be into
He'll
it.
get sad.
Rattle
Yeah.
me on
Charles, how was your life before tattooing? Give us a little rundown.
Depressed.
So before I was tattooing, I was working in hospitality as a chef. So pretty much when I finished my chef's apprenticeship is when I left to come work for Bobby. But I'd been cooking for like 5 years before I started that apprenticeship. Went for like 3 years or something. So ages.
So wait, explain that. You were cooking for 5 years and then apprenticing for 3 years.
Yeah, apprenticed like I was working just in like cafes and like shit places, you know?
Shit places.
So what? Not professional chefing.
Nah, well, not like you don't have the qualification, you know.
Okay.
So once you do your apprenticeship and you get the qualification, that's when you can start working in like proper restaurants.
Interesting fact for you, Hal.
Yes.
Charles and I actually studied at the same TAFE.
Really?
William Anglis. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Maybe you guys should just do the pod because I sort of don't really.
And we can do it in
I
Pig
don't know
Latin.
anything about this stuff.
Anyway, I was working in kitchens for ages, 5 years, 6 years or something.
Sometimes I
And
refer
that-
to you as chef because of that.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people would know that.
Nah.
Do you still like cooking?
Yeah, but I think cooking in that environment's way different than just cooking at home, you know.
It's not enjoyable
Yeah.
in that environment.
Nah, and it's like
You're not cooking for pleasure.
yeah, and it's
Some people
a lot
are, but-
of just it's like high pressure. You're not really cooking something from scratch most of the time in a restaurant.
Because there's so much preparation that's done.
Yeah, all the prep's done.
Are you telling this
like-
to me? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
we're both
helping
looking at
because-
you.
when
I'm
Bella used to
helping
work at
because
Nobu, she was like, she
Hal is
knows a
not
lot
very
about
good
it.
at understanding.
Or say you
Well,
order like
clearly,
a fucking curry or something.
Yeah.
It's like that sauce isn't being made from scratch in the restaurant right then. That sauce has
that.
already been fucking made.
Thought that sometimes
just get
it
that
comes out. I'm like, this doesn't feel freshly cooked.
Yeah.
So you
this
just pull the
turmeric hasn't been
chicken-
freshly ground into my fucking.
You just pull the chicken out of the freezer, press defrost on the microwave, and then
Yeah.
chuck in
Yeah.
the sauce.
Yeah, everything just goes in the microwave. But yeah, that was my life. Lived
Nice.
in Frankston.
Mm-hmm. I think there was some questions about Frankston actually.
Yeah,
Frankston seems to be one of those suburbs.
I got a few questions
that
about Frankston
is
as well on my
a real
Instagram.
it's like almost like an identity former.
It is.
That makes sense?
definitely.
People that don't even know about Melbourne know what Frankston is.
Yeah.
Because it has a bad reputation.
I would say the same about Northside.
Whoa.
Whoa. I got
No,
a question
no.
about Northside.
Not
as
that it has a
well.
bad reputation, but that people know about it even if they're not from Melbourne, because
Yeah, true.
it's like Frankston, Northside, and then maybe like Sunshine or Cranny. They're like the places that people have heard of if you're not from Melbourne.
Yeah. What have you heard about Northside?
Few things. You sent me an interesting photo from Northside the other day.
Did I?
Pair of pants in a window or something that you thought I might like.
Arseless chaps.
Some arseless leather chaps. So that's how we're getting down in North.
We just needed to know your size.
That was on Gertrude Street, the cool. It's
the costume store.
Coolest street in the world.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, Bella. I think. Do you want to go through your life before tattooing, or
no? We've done that on a previous episode. And my life's been pretty
boring. No way. This is
I actually did make candles. Yeah.
This is an interesting one from Simon, your Muay Thai coach. And I feel like there's some context behind this that I don't understand.
Simon Lang Muay Thai.
Yeah. Thoughts on cosmetic plastic surgery?
He said that? Yeah. Really? He sent me some questions as well.
Or is that that's not like, there's no context behind that and he's just genuinely interested?
I think he's interested. I don't think I've mentioned anything about cosmetic surgery.
Okay. To him. I thought
apart from how I got my whole face reconstructed after he fucking elbowed me. Maybe that's why he's asking. He smashes my face in every week.
Do we have thoughts on cosmetic surgery? Plastic. What was it?
I'm going to need an example.
Cosmetic plastic surgery.
Cosmetic plastic surgery. So what's that? Nose jobs, lip fillers, stuff like that?
Is lip fillers plastic surgery?
No.
What is that?
I would say it's
the hard-hitting questions
it's a medical
here
procedure.
For people. The hard-hitting questions.
Fuck.
I'll just slap it into the fucking category, would you?
Charles Cooper tattooing. What do you think of plastic surgery?
Hates lip jobs.
Is lip filler?
I'm indifferent.
It's not plastic surgery, Bella. I'm indifferent as well. If you want to look a certain way and you can make it happen, go for it. I will say this though.
It's one of the most common forms of plastic surgery.
Really? This is my thought just now that I've thought about plastic surgery. I do think something like the Michael Jackson look is...
You're into it?
No.
He's gorgeous.
I think from what he looked like at the beginning to what he then looked like was not a good change.
But I don't think it went...
I don't think anyone
I don't think that's how it was meant to go. He deleted his nose. I don't know if it was meant to look like that or if something went...
But that's what I mean. Like, if that's what we're saying plastic surgery is, then no, I'm not into it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But if you just want to look however, like if he wanted to look like that, all power to him.
If Simon wants to. Yeah, Simon, you listening to this? You can do whatever you want, brother. Change that nose.
I'm not necessarily into it myself. I have had fillers and... Yeah, just fillers, not Botox.
Yeah.
Done. And I was fine with it. Like, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I don't think I would get it again.
Okay.
I don't like that you have to get it done so frequently and it's a lot of money. And
You're talking about the lip filler stuff.
Yeah, and it just didn't make me feel that great. So I didn't see much point in it. But other people get it for their overall self-confidence. And if that is what it takes for you to feel comfortable in your own skin and feel good about yourself, go for it. But I do think that there is a line where some people should stop.
It's probably a little bit like the tats as well, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if that's how you want to look and how you want people to perceive you, go for it. But I don't have to think that that's a great choice.
We're so like, is the word diplomatic on this show where we're like, I think this, but if you don't think this, that's okay.
Well, I'm scared.
That's just what I'm
saying. Getting cancelled. I'm going to be real.
I don't think you can get cancelled anymore. Oh, now that I say that, everyone will come out with some shit.
Is that what we're saying? You can't get cancelled anymore. It's done. It's finished.
I think all right. So on tattooing and getting cancelled, I think there was I think I've said this before, and it's like my issue with, let's use in inverted commas, cancel culture. This is just falling
classic
into like
podcast.
Yeah, every classic podcast with two white guys is like, what are your thoughts on cancel culture? Yeah. We are getting into it. I thought for a period of time, especially in tattooing, there was like a bunch of blokes. It was pretty much exclusively guys doing like fucked stuff that, regardless of what job they did and stuff, it's like they should get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
And it was like, as a community, like tattooing's a massive thing, but it's also like a very small industry in one sense. So it was like, I think it's like because the industry's so small, I say we, like as an industry, had the ability to like kick those people out.
Yeah.
Rightly so. I thought then, though, after a while, it became like a lot of the first instances were like pretty egregious stuff. And then it started to get like whittled down to just like, oh, that person's like a bit of a fuckwit, or
I don't like this person.
Yeah, or they were rude, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's taken a much more personal approach to it. Whereas if someone has an issue with that individual, they're just going to say and dramatize the situation, being like, yeah, they're such a fucking sexist pig or something, when they just don't like them as a person because they want to chime in on the action.
I remember like a good example of what I was sort of trying to say. It's hard to explain. Was there was like a tattooer, I can't remember who it was, but they got called out for being like a sex pest. Whether, I guess like another grey area was like, it's the same with everything. It's like people were like, if whether you like raped someone or you just said to a customer like, hey, I think you're hot, it was like it all just got put in the same category. You know what I mean? And it's like both of those things are obviously inappropriate, but one is like
on the very far end of the
crazy, illegal, and like inappropriate.
Yeah.
And one is just like could be perceived as like
a bit of a creep.
Yeah, you're a bit too forward. You know what I mean? But I guess that's the downside to like the social media, and it's like all comments and stuff. It's hard to like get through the nuance of like what actually happened, who did what.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the time it's a comment that's coming from a faceless character.
And I remember what the example I was thinking is like, I remember someone got called out for like, doing some very inappropriate or like illegal sexual stuff. And then in the comments, which I wouldn't read anymore, but I went on there. I was like, I didn't know the tattooer and I didn't know the person who was saying what had happened, but I saw it and I was like, oh, I got on there. And then like after about 10 comments, it was like people were starting to write like, yeah, and when I got tattooed by him, it really hurt, like more than my other tattoos. And I sort of got the impression that he was liking that. And I was just like, I saw that and I was just like, yeah, the first instance where he raped someone or whatever, absolutely fucked, like should go to jail, all that. It's like, that's not the same as like some perceived interaction about like, oh, was he like a sadist and he wanted to fucking hurt me when he tattooed? Like maybe that is the case, but it was sort of like, just became this pile on of like everyone not trying to get involved, but everyone's like, yeah, oh yeah, I thought that.
Yeah.
And after that all passed, it was sort of like, well, I don't know. Now it seems like if someone does bad stuff or inappropriate stuff within the industry, if certain tattooers don't like jump on it, and
it's not a thing,
then it just dies. Like no one gives a fuck, you know?
You reckon?
Or well,
if it's not backed by whoever.
Yeah, I think it's like not that it's like, I don't know whether it's right or wrong or if it's just a reality or whatever, but it's like almost in a way it seems a little bit like if you're part of like the core cool group or like popular group or you're friends with certain people or whatever, it's like
a status thing.
Yeah, it's like, well, and like I'm not going to say anyone, and this isn't like let's blow this podcast up or anything, but 100% I know of like big tattooers who have done stuff that has been more inappropriate than stuff that other people have been called out for, but they're friends with all the big tattooers and whatever, and
they're going to have their back,
and they just either don't want the drama or, you know what I mean?
I hear.
Yeah.
I hear.
I also think people's, just generally after COVID and stuff, it's like people's appetite for drama and stuff is like way less. Like me, if I see anything about like any tattooer that I don't personally know or whatever, I'm just scrolling on.
Yeah. Unless
it's like some crazy, like they've done something fucked. But if it's just like, oh, this guy's a fuckwit or whatever, it's like, well, I don't know him. Like, you know?
Well, everyone thinks everyone's a fuckwit, you know?
Exactly.
Everyone's got an opinion. Oh, there'd be that many people out there that think we're all fuckwits.
There's a lot of people in the shop that I work that think
when I was talking like the big dogs I know that have done some pretty fuck stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking at one of them.
No,
that's not true. That's not true.
Don't put me on that on the podcast.
Charles, would you recommend getting your head tattooed?
Depends. If you want your head tattooed, if you like how it looks, then go for it. I wouldn't say it doesn't hurt because it fucking... The tat you did on the top of my head, Hal.
Yeah. What about the one that I did on the back, mate?
The one where, that one hurt as well. The one where I was swimming.
Yeah, you were fucking squirming like a little worm, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know, I hate getting tattooed.
Yeah. I actually heard the bloke who did the top of your head tat is a bit of a sadist, and he sort of likes
Yeah.
he likes
You
hurting
fully
people.
did.
No, I
So
didn't.
when Hal tattooed the top of my head and blacked out this big
X.
X on my cranium.
It was your design, mate. You can only blame yourself.
Yeah,
I
you
do
drew
the,
it and you
I did the
asked.
design. I thought it was sick, but it fucking hurt. And Bella tattooed a tiger on the back of my head, and that fucking hurt. And then Cody tattooed some stuff like on the back, sort of behind my ear. It all hurts, bro.
It definitely hurts.
But
I don't think any tattoo would ever feel good, but yeah.
it's not going to stop you from getting it
No.
if that's what you want. Because I wanted it, obviously,
Yeah.
and I got it.
I actually think some bits of the head
Manageable?
are better than...
When Cody did my hairline, it was fine.
Yeah, that's like the top more to the front is actually quite easy. Same as like the top at on the sides, and not the top, the front at the sides and stuff. But I think the more you start to go back, definitely starts to get quite bad. Would you recommend it? I guess it's like, well, it depends if you want it or not.
If you want it, then do it.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, and I'm going through this now, if you start to lose your hair and your whole sort of thing was like, oh, well, it's, it's covered.
I'm staring at you have the laid to rest, which obviously used to sit like across your hairline.
Yeah.
And now
Only slightly.
the 2 is in the hairline.
Yes. I've always had like the widow's peak, but I sort of was like, oh, I'll grow my hair.
Lenny has been very lucky to
Yeah,
inherit.
Lenny's got the widow's peak as well.
I got it as well.
You
When
do.
Cody did my hairline, he had to put the lettering like 2 inches back. Otherwise, it would have been on a right angle.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do think if you're confident that you're not going to lose your hair and you're getting tattoos, that
How
you
can
wouldn't.
you ever be confident?
No, what I'm saying is a lot of guys are like, oh no, I won't lose my hair because of like I don't
Ashley
know,
Martin.
or some genetic thing they reckon my grandpa didn't or whatever.
Yeah.
If that's the reason you're then confident to get certain tattoos, I think just think about it as if you were losing your hair, because
But you're going to lose your hair.
not everyone loses their hair.
What, when you're fucking 90?
Yeah.
You're going to have
Some
hair.
people have
Some
hair.
people still do. It's less
Just
common.
not people like you and me.
Oh, I'm going.
You're coming from a place of
I've
jealousy.
grown my hair
Well, this is the
to try and try and cover it.
You're putting
but-
that like black powder in that makes your hair look like
Yeah.
thicker. Covers up your scalp.
Like
I'll
fucking
loan you some of
carbon
my
and
hair dye later if you need.
charcoal carbon from the fucking pizza
Well,
oven.
yeah, because I was skating yesterday with my helmet on, and which by the way I get made fun of, but I'm a dad now, so I wear a helmet.
And you were wearing knee pads and wrist guards. Is that right?
I wear wrist guards because I don't want to hurt my wrist for work,
Yes, correct.
and the knee pads because when you skate in a bowl, you fall onto your knees.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Good on you for the
I
protection.
thought you were
mate.
saying. Oh,
I thought you were having a crack at it.
Yeah,
Oh, fucking chipe.
How's
Pipe
this?
down, mate.
Boys Club.
I'm like a shit skater, obviously.
Do you know what? I actually backed you up when you said that to that old lady at the skate park yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's not. He just thinks
My
he is.
hubby's the best skater.
That was like my pump
Yeah.
up. I got
No
you backed
Tony
up.
Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's better.
He's played the game. Well, so because I'm always like, I just skate our mini ramp in the garage, which is a very unique ramp, and I'm like, but it's very small, so I'm like, I would like to progress, do some different stuff, whatever. And like, let's be honest, I'm an above base level skateboarder. Ollie, you
think
can
you're
do
amazing.
tricks, drop in, do some lip tricks, grinds, whatever. But I wouldn't.
Charles, do you know what any of those are?
Nah.
No, but people who skate will. But then I wouldn't consider myself a skater because I know that like core skaters that like I'm not a core skater. Okay.
Yeah, right. You're a poser.
I wouldn't
Let's
say
go
I'm a
with that,
poser because
yeah.
I'm not pretending to be a core skater.
Okay.
I'm just like, yeah, I'll get out on the skateboard, whatever. I'll look like a goose wearing like not cool wearing a helmet or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to do
Tony
that.
Hawk wore a helmet.
Yeah, but he's also like a great skateboarder. So I think if you're really, really good at
it doesn't
something,
matter.
you can. But it's that like middle ground where everyone's like, oh, that's not cool, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I even had it said to me in the shop the other day.
But you're not cool.
No, about the helmets, they're lame, and you shouldn't wear one and stuff. Anyway, we won't get into that.
Do you know what also is pretty lame?
What?
Severe head injuries.
You know what's lame? Caring about your fucking health.
But then I went to the bowl, which is like a hectic bowl in Rye. It's 10-foot vert. So, and I've never seen anyone ride it, legitimately.
big.
And
Put it this way, I don't think if I slid down, I would easily be able to get back out.
It's quite hard to get out of. But the little
that could be any size hole.
yeah.
Bella.
I'll go quick.
I'm quite the athlete.
I'll go quick through this. The mini bowl they have there, it's painted and it had been raining, so it was super, super slippery.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to have to ride in the big bowl because it's a concrete, it'll dry quicker, it's more grippy. But then I had to spend half an hour sweeping the bowl because it's got fucking shit all in it, like glass and stuff.
Yes, he did bring our broom from home and a camping chair for
I
me to
knew-
sit on.
The legit dudes do.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm in there shirtless
I'm saying
because it's
he's
sunny,
legit.
sweeping this whole bowl, and this old lady comes up and she's like, God, you're good. And I was like, well, somebody's got to do it.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
you
but-
fully claimed that.
But that's what I sort of think is like you rock up with your pads, your skateboard, the broom, you're in there cleaning it. People think you're going to be doing like huge airs and shit.
Well, I think that Nana's thinking like, what a good like
Samaritan.
local community,
Yeah.
upstanding bloke.
Anyway, then I was just like, I started skating. I'd been thinking like in my mind, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try this, whatever. I was like, oh, God, I
Scary.
fucking suck. Yeah, the scare factor. It was a bit wet in there. That was playing on my mind.
Yeah. The
and I
grandma's
was on the
looking.
sides hanging my legs in with Lenny saying, you fucking pussy, you made us come here and you're not even going to do anything
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, and the reason I mentioned this long-winded story about skating, I had my helmet on. I take my helmet off and we film these videos where Lenny's on the skateboard and I'm scooting around with him. And Bella goes, oh, I really like your hair. And I thought she was being genuine. We get in the car. I'm like, can you
Am
send
I
me those
ever?
videos? And I look at them when I get home and I was like, I got to go shave my head. This looks so fucked.
What was it?
It was like, it looked like I was so badly losing my hair,
Yeah.
like more than I've ever thought it looked like before. And I was just like,
the bad lighting.
I just said, Bella, this is fucked.
Yeah. When
Let
you
me
you
just
can't
get this for you.
you can't hang on, bro.
So then I
You
just
gotta-
went
you-
last night. That's
once
why I
it
got the
starts-
shaved head now.
Oh, that's a bad video.
Yeah, you can see it already.
Once it starts
How
going,
bad? How? Bella's like, no, it looked fine. I'm like, Bella, just be honest. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. If you're losing your hair, gives a fuck. But it's like
you gotta own it.
trying to hang on to it. Oh, man.
That's a good one right here.
See what I mean? That's not like a widow's peak.
That's,
I like the
That's
sweat
like-
dripping off your nose in the
that
photo
looks
too.
like Tasmania.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Straight Edge Charles. How's it going? Still going? I got a question about you for that.
Yeah, still going.
Yeah?
Going good. It's been a while now.
How long?
Nice.
I don't know, 2 years maybe? Consistently? Almost?
Didn't you claim it properly after you came back from Sydney?
No, so I'd lived maybe like a year and a half just sober lifestyle before the Sydney trip. And before that year and a half was a lot of like sporadic times of like 6 months sobriety, then like drinking or whatever, and then trying to do it again. And then did the like almost 2 years, whatever. And then I buckled when we went to Sydney, ended up having a drink up there.
And
Wasn't it legit like
Aperol
one
spritz.
drink though? Or did you have a few?
Nah, I drank a bit when I was in Sydney with Cody. Me
So
and
one
Cody
beer
were-
and one Aperol spritz.
Nah, we were drinking. me and
Oh,
Cody.
you were pissed.
And I was just looking at him.
Because I was going to say, if you broke it for one drink,
You're exactly the man I thought you were.
And then when I got back, I realized that that's not how I wanted to be living. And I didn't want to be able to like, get into my head about it or convince myself or whatever. You're missing out, all that shit. And then that's when I sort of decided I wanted to live that life. And yeah,
Nice.
that was ages ago now, it feels like.
Yeah.
I used to count every fucking month, but now just whatever.
you've
I like
claimed
it.
you've
You
claimed long enough.
Yeah, probably not, but
No, I think it just becomes really natural. But that's how you know it's the right thing for
it
you,
just feels
I
like
believe.
normal now.
Yeah.
Not any drama.
Nice. That was from Ben Lehner,
Good on you,
the
Ben.
question. He wrote it differently, but
That's right.
what were the questions you got?
Let's have a look.
They were like the majority of the appropriate ones that were acceptable to read out.
I got a few ones I can't read out.
Yep.
Like almost half I can't read out.
So one.
Yeah, so I got one question.
Yeah.
Guest spots in the UK.
Got that one as well.
So Not this year, because this year I'm just going to the States. I think
Yeah.
that'll be my one international trip.
One big international trip.
I might do a few more domestic this year, depending on how it goes. But potentially next year, I would love to go to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
You're a bit of a soccer guy, aren't you? So I feel like that fits in with your aesthetic.
Yeah.
Is that the right way? Is that?
Yeah.
I guess so.
That sounds like you're agreeing because you don't want to disagree.
Yeah. UK, yeah. Next year maybe?
Yeah.
Definitely in the future.
Okay, moving on.
What about you, Hal?
That was a good accent, Al.
Really? Thank you.
No.
Ah, sweet. Thanks, Bella.
You guys going
Bella's
to UK?
just on here as like the producer with
Well,
like...
she's standing. What is she doing?
She's doing her nails.
She's been doing her nails for the past fucking
She's
half
like
an hour.
the producer who does like special guest, like expert comments, just like chucks in a few comments.
The snarky remarks, that's it.
Yeah.
All
This
right.
is why we wanted to go lo-fi with the podcast because of but guest spots in the UK for me and Bella,
Yeah.
unlikely to be honest.
You got a son.
I wouldn't use him as the excuse. I've done London before work and like good customer base out there. So that was a really good trip. Did that with Bobby in early 2019. Oh, not mid 2019. I think just for me, like the distance to travel there is almost like just cancels it out.
What do you mean? The long distance?
Too far.
I know. I fully am not.
Yeah,
Like I'm not
24 hours flying.
I'm going to need to do sleeping tablets if I'm going over there.
Yeah.
Well, I just think any very far away location for me, I would much prefer to do a lot of stopovers and actually stay in that stopover location.
but then
for
you
a few
prolong
days.
it.
But then it's, yeah, and it's, I agree with you that it's like you break the big flight up, but then I'm also like, it's like, I think the whole process of like, you've got your luggage, you've got to go to your Airbnb or hotel, you've got to like get settled there, then you stay there for 2 days or whatever it is, and you got to go back to the airport.
Mate, I would be happy if I had like never had to step foot on a plane ever again in my life. You're the one who's chiming in every week. Hey, should we go here? Should we go here?
I tried to book Bella like I wouldn't say romantic, but just like,
Yeah,
hey
no
Bella, you want to
romance.
go on a little trip? You know, like someplace we haven't been or I haven't been and Bella's been before, and she says she loved it. And I was like, cool, we got the Airbnb, I booked it, all that. And then like half an hour later, Bella's like, I sort of can't really be bothered going.
No, not half an hour
And I was
later.
like,
You said,
sick.
hey, do you want to go here? I've already booked it. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Why would you
I
book
was
it?
making it a surprise. That was like the thing.
You want a little getaway
I
with you,
hate
Bella?
surprises. And it's not like a good surprise when it's like, cool, we're going to leave straight after work on a Saturday evening and have to bring Lenny with us. And we're only there for 2 days.
What do you mean have to bring Lenny? As if it's like, oh,
No.
and I've got to bring the
We
suitcases.
obviously are bringing our beautiful child. But it's like, if we're going to work on the Saturday, where's Lenny going for the Saturday? And then we're going to the airport after. Logistically, it made zero sense.
Or Uncle Charles would obviously look after him for the day.
I could do that.
I would not leave my son
Oh,
with
also
you.
Charles, can you
He's
look
too
after the dogs
precious.
for that trip as well?
Yeah.
We'll see how this one
Put it
goes.
in my calendar.
So I'm going to say unlikely. There's potential we were going to go to a wedding in Europe next year. So I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see. It'll depend how Lenny's going, how we're going.
Depend how Hal's surfing career is going.
I don't
A lot of moving
know about that.
parts.
I just surf for fun, Bella. Okay, just surf for fun, all right? Yeah, I think the international stuff for us is there's just nothing in the pipeline at the moment.
Whenever someone messages me and asks, my response is nothing planned, but never say never, because I don't ever want to completely cancel it out.
Oh,
Who
of course,
knows?
yeah.
But I don't have any plans, and I also really don't like to make travel plans because I just
You don't like traveling.
I don't like
We know.
traveling. I like it when I'm there, but the stress of getting on an aeroplane is just not
Yeah,
enjoyable.
I couldn't be bothered. I was saying this to my
And
customer.
Hal's also shocking to travel with. If I had a better
Okay.
travel... no, for the flight, Dal.
Okay.
You're an amazing companion when we're there, but on an aeroplane, oh my Lord.
What, because I just sleep?
No, you're not even asleep. You're fully alert, but you just close your eyes. And even if I talk to you, you just grunt at me.
when I went to Sydney with
Am I
Hal,
wrong?
he laid down in the row behind us. There was no one there, and just laid down like he was sleeping in bed and just closed his eyes the whole flight.
Yeah, you may as well travel alone.
Remember
Making
that?
me out as like a victim.
And you had your feet out. No, not a victim, bro. You had your feet
As
out
if
in the
it-
aisle.
Oh,
You're just
and-
shocking on
and
an aeroplane.
We got on the flight and he just went and lay down. It's like, what were you wanting to do? Fucking hang out?
Yeah, I don't
We're
know.
about to spend a week together.
Drink some beers or something.
I prefer vodka.
Watch the TV or that they would have.
Watch Finding Nemo.
Great
Anyway,
movie.
Next question.
Yeah, I'm going to say no for the international guesties.
Um,
We're really like not, I feel like me and Bella are not talking it up as like, yep, listen to the potty, we'll be here in travel dates, you know.
maybe that's
No,
why you need to get the views up.
I
by
would
just
love
that.
to
We
eventually,
haven't
but we're
liked-
just not in a point in our life where it's an easy, viable option at the moment.
Yep. Let's just
That's
say
it.
if you live in Australia in a semi-warm surf destination, there's
Hal will
every
come.
chance we will
got a
be
surf
guesting
beach?
near you soon.
It's on.
Yeah.
Not for me, but for you maybe.
You and I surfed at Bondi.
We won't get into that.
That was when you knew I've got to be straight edge. That was the best day of your life.
And I felt your hands on my hips and guiding me on the fucking board. Anyway,
Yeah, next question.
so this is a long question. What gives you the motivation to tattoo every day and grind 7 days a week?
Have you written that yourself?
Nah,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
this is from a different tattooer.
Did Jack send it to you?
What makes you the best hustler and, the,
Nah, this is from
and like such a good tattooer?
a guy, Junior the Tattooer from the States. Thank you for the
What was the
support.
question again?
What gives you motivation to tattoo every day and grind 7 days a week?
Obviously, Hustling by Rick Ross.
The 7 days things was more just making myself available to all the bookings that I can get.
I thought it was so that you could pay off your car loan, your Tesla.
Oh, the Tesla loan.
Yeah.
And the diesel generator for the
Yeah.
fucking charger.
Yeah.
No, it was more just making myself available every day means more bookings, really, doesn't it?
Well, means that, more clientele can come in instead of having
More opportunities.
More
limited.
opportunities to grow the brand, grow my career, get
It's all about
better,
opportunity.
all that stuff.
Yep.
And
I like the 7-day thing.
well, that's all I do. That's all I do.
It is a good. It's an interesting one. The mindset of the 7-day.
I loved working the 7 days.
But when we say
To an
7
extent.
days,
I did
it's
for a
not
period.
7. I know you did the 7 days for a while, Hal. It's not full like 9 to 5, 7 days every day. You know.
Is it more like if you have a booking, you'll be there?
Well, on the Monday, it's only me there, and I only have a morning booking. I'm not staying there the whole fucking day. I'll
Yeah,
go in the
okay.
morning, do it, and then that's it.
Still good though.
Yeah.
I think for when we did the 7 days for a long time, it was like. I think there's not many times in your life where
You're available to
you
do
get
it.
the opportunity to commit to one thing, like just wholly. You know, it's like
You put everything in that one basket
Yeah.
and you're dedicating, like every day you wake up and you're like, I'm locked in to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
So for me personally, I actually think it was like very freeing in the way that it was like that's all
The
you had.
routine.
All you had to think about was like
Yeah.
there was because now it's like we've got 2 days. Oh, I have 2 days off a week. Well, sorry, I have 3 days off a week now because I look after Lenny on Fridays. But previously it was like we just had 2 days off, and it was like I actually think in a way that complicates your life so much more.
I completely agree.
Because you're like, all right, cool, I'm going to do this on that day. I've got to do this. Like almost in a way you're trying to fill time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you save things
Yeah.
up to do on your days off. Whereas when we were working the 7 days, you were locked in for your appointments from these times. You knew what times you had available, but
And you just
you
make
also
everything
knew
else
that you had
work.
you knew
Yeah.
that you had work the next day and you had to draw things for it. So you would just run your schedule really, really tight.
Yeah, and it was like, just the
You wouldn't be letting anything like
all
slip.
all you had to do was just think about I'm just working. You know,
Yeah.
it was like
feed myself
that's-
and go to work.
for us or for me, that was great for a period of time. Like, but once you get over 2/3 of a year doing that, I think then that's when all the other things you haven't put any energy into start to catch up. Like for
Yeah.
us, it was like there was weeks I was getting Uber Eats for dinner 7 days a week because we hadn't gone to the supermarket in a month.
Yeah.
Okay,
and-
I had gone to the supermarket. You just didn't want to eat what I was eating.
No, that's not true necessarily. It's like no, but in a way,
Oh,
it's
can
like
you blame me?
you work 10 hours and you've worked 10 hours for fucking 150 days before. You get home and you're like, I'm not cooking food. I mean,
we did eat a lot of tuna pesto pasta,
but it was like your energy and your ability to put energy into other things just wasn't there. I was like, you lose touch with like friendships and stuff because
so those 7 days, 10-hour days is different than the 7 days that I'm doing, you know?
Yeah, you're just making yourself available to be booked 7 days.
Well, I think dedicating yourself to that and just putting it all like into tattooing is just you're getting every opportunity that you can possibly get. There's no excuses as to like, oh, should I have pushed harder? Should I have done this? It's like you're committing to it. This is the only option.
It's interesting though, because I don't know if I look back at when we were working 7 days, whether the perception from the outside was how our perception from the inside was. Because I was thinking the same things. I was like, you know, this is the time, this is the opportunity. Like, and in a way, like tattooing's not a competition, of course, but more like an internal competition was like, how much can you get out of this? How far can you take it? Yeah. All of that.
When I'm quite fresh into tattooing, you know?
But so then it's like,
if you don't do it when you're young or at the start of your career, then it can slip away, you know?
Well, that's the thing. That's why I loved it so much, because I knew that we were potentially wanting to move a little bit further away from work. We were wanting to have a family soon-ish. So I was like, when am I ever going to have an opportunity to be able to work this much and to be able to dedicate so much time to it? So I just threw myself into it and I actually loved it.
Yeah. And that, like,
it had its challenges, but everything
for me,
else.
it was like when I was playing footy, it was the same thing. I would focus on footy 7 days a week. You didn't have to do anything else. And it's like now I could never do that again. And it's like I'll never be able to do the 7 days work again because of
you just have more responsibilities and other things that are going on.
So yeah, I like that you and Jack,
I love it,
do the real. Well, just give yourself the most opportunities, you know. And whether you have the work there at the moment to fill the full 7 days and stuff, it's like doesn't really matter. It's like it's more the mindset, and I actually feel like these days the real like hustle culture stuff's been like a bit stigmatized, and now it's like all you hear about is like lifestyle and balance and stuff like that.
Working a 3 or 4 day week is healthier.
Maybe that a little bit, I feel like sometimes that comes from us because we've got a lot more lifestyle and a lot more balance within our work careers. But it's like that's only possible now because we did the other stuff. Yeah. And yeah, I just hope it lasts for us. Yeah, that's my biggest worry. Any more questions, Charles?
Yeah, I got heaps, so we're not going to be able to get through all of these.
Fuck, you're the popular guy. I just got all stupid questions. Some mostly from Bella, to be honest.
What do you mean? I sent in one. Yeah. And you know what? I actually really dislike when people send in sarcastic ones, but we were all sitting next to each other, so
I've got heaps of sarcastic ones.
Good.
Yeah. What motivates you the most when it comes to drawing and painting Flash?
Getting the likes on Instagram.
Oh God!
Is that your answer, Charles?
No.
I thought that was going to be like your answer, but it was like a piss take answer. No. Do you want to answer that question seriously?
Honestly, it motivates me to do like a cool line drawing or whatever, just to have something that I actually like, that I would want tattooed on me.
I would probably agree with that. Majority of the designs that I would draw is something
I would want to get.
I would get, or that I'm into.
Yeah.
And yeah, can be very satisfying painting a good sheet if you don't fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I'm not going to think it's good unless I think that the designs or whatever are cool.
Yeah.
So I have to like the concept or what it actually physically looks like. So if it's appealing to me, I hope that it's appealing to other people. And I know that everyone has different taste and that's fine, but it's my style in a way, I guess. Even if I'm not trying to make it my style.
Yeah, what motivates you to draw and to paint? Did they say cool Flash?
What motivates you the most when it comes to drawing and painting Flash?
Yeah. I think there's two things for me. Initially, like when I was younger or like fresher into tattooing, a lot of the motivation came from like understanding, trying to understand designs. So like, in order to understand a line drawing of a panther, I believe you need to have painted several of them, because the lines are done specifically in a lot of those areas to dictate the way you shade it.
Yeah.
So doing the paintings for a lot of that stuff when you start for me was about learning.
The technical side.
Yeah, was understanding the designs. And that means now that I can draw, like I very rarely paint at the moment, just time-wise. Yep. Like I tattoo every day I'm at work, I'm tattooing for the whole day. And I don't get too much time to paint. And so it's like now I just do pretty much only line drawings.
Yeah.
But because you have like a really good understanding of the designs,
you know
exactly why you're putting those lines there. And yeah, it's sort of like all the drawings I'm doing are predominantly requested by customers. They're not like, I like this. I don't get much of like
a full custom
job. Custom stuff, but they are in a way. They go like, I like something like this. They're happy to get one if I've already got it pre-drawn. I might show them a few options. But sometimes, like, for example, I tattooed on last Saturday on like a long-term customer. He wanted like a marlin, the big fish, the spike.
Yeah, I remember that tat.
And I've never tattooed one before. I don't have one drawn. So I found like a good image of a marlin. And I was like, oh, can I put like a spear going through it with some rope and stuff? And he was like, yeah, do whatever. So I put some water and stuff.
Yeah, the waves looked good.
Yeah. And I that was like, the motivation was like, I've never drawn that before, and it was like, how do I draw this to make it like something that I'm really into? And it was probably one of my favorite tattoos I've done in a long time. So that's like drawing for tattooing. That's one side of it. And then I guess there's drawing for like conceptual stuff, which I do a little bit. I did the other day one. I've got like heaps of these drawings of like, not back pieces per se, but like big stuff.
Larger scaled, involved designs.
Yeah, and I try and say this, and not that it really like, I'm not even that good at it. But, and I try and say this to all the guys in the shop, is like, you know, like, it's really hard to make like, for example, like a panther, like a crawling panther. Like, how do you make a Charles Cooper or a Bella Hunter original crawling panther? Yeah. It's like, yeah, you can change, you know, like the face and, but the generic shape is always going to be the same. So it's like, how do you create like what people would deem as like custom flash or whatever?
Yeah.
And I started doing this a while ago, and lots of people do it. So it's definitely not like my thing. But where like you draw one thing, and then how do you add like another thing onto that?
Yeah.
Whether it's like not making like morph tattoos where they morph into each other, but it's like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like trying to fill space.
So you do the Sacred Heart or whatever, going up into like a skull with the smoke or like shit like that.
And then like what's the next bit and what's the next bit. Yeah. And I think for me that's really helped. And I haven't done a lot of them, but when if you're drawing a back piece, for example, it's like I find that doing that allows you to then be able to come up with ideas about like, oh, well, what do I put there? What should I put there? How am I going to border this? All that sort of stuff. Yeah. I drew one the other day. Do you remember, Bella, at home? Yeah. And I just got that A2 piece of tracing paper.
Oh, sick.
And I ultimately want to make it into a painting. But it was like, yeah, you just draw it all from your mind and stuff like that. So that is like what my motivation for drawing stuff is like just drawing stuff that is interesting for me and makes me think about like, how can you put this here or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
My motivation for drawing when I was starting, like I was an apprentice, was purely just to draw something that Hal didn't come up to and say, what the fuck is that? That's shit. Because that was my only incentive to know that I was on the right track, because you were going to tell me exactly fucking how it was. And I liked it to an extent.
I agree with you, but then I'm also like,
you were coming at it from a technical perspective of like, well, that doesn't fucking make sense, but I didn't understand why it didn't make sense, and
Because
So once I did one that you weren't like, that's fucking shit.
I
Then I
wouldn't
was
say
like,
it
I
like
must
that.
be learning something.
It's more so about, and I say this, well, I think this about a lot of young tattooers, and I've said it to a few, and like in the context of tattooing, I'm still young. So when I say young tattooers, I just mean like younger than me. Or like fresher, younger in tattooing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't understand the designs, then doing like your own custom spin on it
0 point
is very, very difficult to make it look good because you don't actually understand what you're doing.
The basics.
Exactly.
You can't fucking build on that.
Yeah.
But it's also very hard to say that to someone who's starting because they don't even understand what it is that they need to understand.
Yeah.
Because you're starting from scratch. So it's like, just
don't
do that. Give it time. It will come. And then they do exactly the opposite.
Anyway.
It's all a learning curve though.
Last question.
You
finish it off, Charles. You pick it.
You pick it
an
and
hour
I'll
and 10
stick
minutes with about 20 minutes of ramble at the start.
How to find the right placement for traditional tattoos. I feel like
this is actually a question that we get a lot, Bella?
Do we?
I get a lot.
I get it a lot from a customer.
So Hal always gets the, like, how do I get the placement to make it look organic? Fucking comment.
Do I?
Yeah, all the time.
All the
time.
Huh?
Like your clients or whatever.
I get it in person at the shop.
With them, they go, I want it to look random. But then it's like they've stood there for an hour deciding how this is going to look random.
Not all my customers. I've had a few.
I'm
going to
say most of the time when you want it to look like organic and you're putting it like on a weird angle or on a part of your body that like curves in a weird way, it's not going to look organic. It's just going to look a little bit silly.
I think that's actually one of the most difficult things that you get asked is, trying to place something specifically to make it look random. Because
I don't think it will ever look random because you've put it there specifically.
Well, I think the way you make it look random is to put it on. Not to put it on random or haphazardly. It's just to put it on where it fits good.
It'll look good there, boom.
You just get that there and then you get the next one, it looks good there. And it's always interesting.
And you work around it as you build it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I find that when people ask, we'll get back to the original question in a minute, but when people ask about the making it look random, they always show me, in my case, they show me photos of like sleeves that I've done or something. Mm-hmm. And they're always like more spaced out sleeves. They're never like the fully dense ones. But because once it gets like full enough, it starts to look quite coherent.
Yeah.
But so they're always more like sparse. And they go like, I really like how this looks, but it's like often those photos they've showed me have been like actually quite thought out about trying to make it fit in the best spot.
Yeah.
Not going like, let's just slap it on. But it is. There's never any thought about trying to make it random.
Yeah.
It's but just ended up
you're
looking.
placing them around the arm, like to fill it all up.
In the locations that they look the best or they should go based off the size and shape.
Where's a gap? Okay, I'll put it there. So I have had, like, they've been really happy in the end, and I've been happy with the results and stuff. And it's been like almost like a learning curve or like an experience for me because that's not the most common approach that people come to me with is the trying specifically to make things look random is actually really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I've tried it. But then I always look at it and I go, it's in my mind, it looks the same as if we just put them on. But I guess like if that's the process those customers have to go through to get the way it looks to them, because that's the thing that I don't think we ever think about is when we're putting it on, like on a spaced out sleeve, it's like, whether it goes 1 centimeter higher or one down, like unless it like looks weird naturally or whatever, like those things that doesn't affect me, because we don't have to look at it every day. But I guess like if someone wants it slightly tilted or whatever because they think that looks, that's
people have a right to be picky, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely, but also they're looking at a design from an opposite direction to us. If it's on your arm, they're looking at it upside down.
Well, or the other way around.
Yeah, if you're looking at them, you're looking at it correct, the right way up.
I did a tat the other week on a guy I've done a lot of tats on, who got 2 inner forearm tattoos. Like, it was like placed so you could get 2 forearm tattoos on each forearm, like stacked.
Yeah.
And he got the 2 bottom ones facing normal. So if I look at them as somebody else, they look like I can read them properly. And then he got the top 2 facing back to him.
It's upside down.
Well, upside down, but they wouldn't be for him.
That is strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it was weird. Not weird, but the odd thing I thought about it was, which is also like, I guess, the interesting thing, was that no matter which way you look at it from his perspective or our perspective, 2 were upside down and 2 were facing correctly.
But it's like you've done 2 the correct way, whatever, like facing the
bit
normal
loud.
way.
That's what Bella was doing.
I was saying, Charlie, shut the fuck up
Like
because
then
my
you put
baby's still sleeping.
The other way.
Yeah.
Like
And I've got the photo of it. I haven't put it up for some reason. Can't remember. I was looking at it the other day. And I was like, you look at it and it like, you look at it and you go, yeah, it's like they're stuck together. It looks normal. But then when you look at it, you're like, there's something like, and you don't clue onto it straight away because they are pretty symmetrical.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was just really interesting. I don't know why he wanted it that way.
See, I actually really like the stacked look. Like the stacked
I love the stacked
down
look.
the forearm or the leg or whatever. I'm into it.
I'm into it as well, 100%.
Stacked is my preferred look.
What was the original question? Oh, how do you come up with a placement?
How do you find the right placement for traditional tattoos?
I generally would go by the shape and size of the design that you're tattooing and think of where it's going to look
And majority
suitable
of
on the
it
body.
is personal preference where you want it.
Yeah.
As long as it's not upside down or wonky or like
Sideways.
curving around or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then most placements is a goer, I reckon. As long as it's facing the right way.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my spiel to customers when they ask me?
Go it.
Straight up.
This
I
is
go,
all so rehearsed, I can just tell.
Yeah. I go, so firstly, the way I approach it is you pick the designs you might get. If you're doing a full sleeve or a full leg or whatever, you pick the top 5 designs. These are the main designs that you want. It's like the rest of it we can think about another time. It's like, so you pick the main ones and it's like, cool. Then out of that, you pick the main spot. So if you're doing an arm, it's like, I always think the main spots are top of the forearm, like above your wrist on the top, outer bicep, you got the inner forearm, and let's just start with those spots. Yeah. They're like the main ones because they're the most visible ones.
Well, they're the ones that the customer's going to see on themselves the most.
The inner forearm, you see yourself the most. The outer forearm, everyone else sees. And then the outer bicep, everyone else sees. So it's like, that's where you get your top designs. Yep. They can typically be larger because they're the biggest spots and they're not inhibited by anything around them because you don't have any other tattoos. And then it's like, cool. So you pick them and then you either... Each tattoo you get after that, you either choose it based on location or design. So what's the main factor? Are you looking at the spot going, that spot, I really want to fill it?
Yeah. Or are you looking at a design saying, I love this design and I really want to see this? And
because if you pick a certain design, you go, that's the design I want to get tattooed today, then not every spot is going to be able to accommodate that.
Yep.
So if the design's the most important thing for the session, then you pick the design and you need to be a little bit open about where the design goes.
Yep.
Or if filling the spot is the most important thing, then you have to be a little bit open about what the design is.
Seeing what fits the best.
Exactly. Because there will be certain designs, definitely, obviously we all know this, lend themselves to certain shaped spots.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always make pretty much any design work into any spot. But most of the time has to be some sort of alteration or compromise, or like even today I did a straight out of the book, gorilla head with a helmet, had some blood drops coming off the bottom of it. He went on the outside of his knee, but he had like a panther head facing the exact same spot just above his knee on the outside. And there was a really good spot a little bit lower. It was probably only half an inch lower, which meant then like he wouldn't have to feel that spot under it above the other tattoo that he had. But it meant then in order to get it to fit in the best spot, we didn't do the blood drops because they would have been too close and it would have like, just
it wouldn't have flowed.
Yeah, just wouldn't have left it. And he was like, look, I don't want to do blood drops. And I was like, yeah, cool, you know. And it wasn't like a critical part of the design or anything, but it was definitely like, in order to get it to fit in that spot and aesthetically look the best, we just had to take an element out, you know. And most designs you can do that with, some you can't. But that's what I always say to customers. I'm like, so that's how we go. And when people ask me, like, I've got those messages there that you always read, and you're like, I'll leave these ones for you.
Yeah, when I do Hal's DMs, and some of them are like, oh, I know he's going to be specific in the way he answers this, and I'm not.
I find them really hard.
I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid by word, so you can.
They're always
can
like from people who are international or whatever, and they go, oh, how do you fill the sleeve? You know, just exactly that question.
They literally want Hal to answer it, so I'm letting him do it.
Well, my answer always is, it's just that. Do you want to fill the spot, or do you want to get the certain tat? Yeah, and then we just go from there. Yeah, and that's how you do. In my opinion, that's how you do a whole sleeve. You just do that.
You've done a few, so
I do it in a very similar way. If I have like someone booked in who they've said to me, I want to do a full sleeve. On the first appointment, I'll say, all right, tell me, or like pick out the designs that you actually want and the ones that you want to see, and we go from there.
Yeah, I have a few clients as well, like that guy I did today. I tattooed like a full sleeve on him, working on a full leg now. And I had a few other clients, like Ruby, who's gotten both her arms completely done. But so both similar, they would just come in and go, oh, just book in for the day rate, whatever. They would have maybe a few designs or ideas that they wanted. And then they go, oh, just like whatever to fill the spot. Very easy. Just like, oh, yeah, what do you reckon would look good? Oh, I'll put a bulldog head here. Yeah, sick, let's do it.
I also find that the people who are a little bit more relaxed about it, because they more so want it to flow, they want you to fill a spot and it not be like you're putting a design that should be...
You forced something in there because you wanted it.
You know, oh, we have to change the size of that. Oh, but I really want that design. Okay, well, I guess the only way to do it is to decrease the size by 50%. But it looks different, style sort of. They're the ones that don't look as good. The people who are a little bit more relaxed about it because they want the overall look, they always look way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not compromising to change something so much.
It's not trying to force like a square into a hole, circle, round hole. Is that even the saying?
That was perfect delivery as well.
A square peg into a triangular hole.
Hey, fucking know.
That sounded so wrong yet again, but we know what you mean.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say, just lastly for me on the sleeve stuff, I think there is an element though from the tattooer that
you want a good photo?
I get it in a way, and it's like it's easier for me, I think, because I've done a fair few sleeves to go, oh, well, it's like, you know, whatever. If they want that, then, you know, I'll do it for them, you know. And I pride myself on that. It's like I'll do whatever you want, you know. Yeah. And some of my favorite sleeves, or not even favorite necessarily, but some of the sleeves that I really like the most, and that I've been shown the most by other customers as reference, have got like several tattoos in them that no way in a million years would I suggest is like, oh, you should get this or whatever. And like a good example is
the Marlin's a good one.
Well, not even the Marlin. Like I love that tattoo, but even I know Brody listens to the podcast, so take this the right way, Brody.
Oh, hey, Brody.
I remember so I've done every single one of Brody's tattoos, and we were doing one of his arms, and he's like always super open with the designs and stuff. And this was when they were like a little bit more sparse, and I was like, oh, what do you want now? And he's real relaxed about it, but he was like, oh, I want this logo. It's a Death Wish logo. It's a skateboarding logo. It's like a solid black upside down crucifix. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just think because it was like so simple and it's like pretty big as well. So basic because it's just solid black. Yeah. At the time, I was like, well, of course, like if he wants that, I can't change it because it's a logo. So I can't be like, oh yeah, cool, I'll take the concept and make it something else. And I was a bit like, fuck, I don't like, it's not my arm. This is what he wants. He's like, Brody often asks for like stuff that I've never done before. Mm-hmm. Like with the Marlin was a good example. He got me to do these mountains with the sun once and TP tents and shit like that. Like stuff that wouldn't just be like,
In your flash.
front of mind shit that I would draw.
The countryman with the dog and the banjo.
No, he didn't get that. That was another customer.
I'm thinking of that one as well. That's a good design.
Well, that's I actually really like that design.
I love that one.
And that was a concept where like they've showed me something.
Yeah.
I remember the tattoo. The original tattoo they showed me was this hobo hitchhiker tattoo that Dan Santoro did.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I can't just do like Dan Santoro is like one of my favorite tattooers, but he has like such a unique style.
Yeah.
Very hard to like take a concept of his and make it something else.
Well, it's just going to look like his tat.
Yeah, so I ended up drawing this Slim Dusty style Aussie guitarist. Anyway, and it's been actually quite a popular design. But yeah, the Death Wish logo, I was like, fuck, like, is this just a tat that's like always going to stand out in this sleeve? And it wasn't until we just finished his sleeves, before we started his sleeves, and then before we finished him, we'd done his whole back and finished it. Yeah. So it's been a while. Yeah. But we finished them the other week. And we ended up doing like all fillers and stuff, and I put like a flame around it with shading behind it and stuff. And now it's almost like my favorite aspect of the sleeve.
Yeah, right.
Because I just think it flows in there so well. And I put it up on TikTok the other day, and I got like there was like several comments about the logo in there and how it like works really well and stuff like that. So I was trying to say, what I was trying to say is because we're running way over time. And Bella's looking at me like, hurry the fuck up.
Oh, I just really want to eat the apple crumble.
Was
oh, I forgot about that.
I feel like too many tattooers are too staunch on their opinions about like, nah, this has to go here, this will look good here. It's like, I sort of view it more as an organic, like, we'll work it out tat by tat. Mm-hmm. And for me, as the person doing it, it's like I've got to work it out tat by tat.
Yes.
On how to
make it flow out of the designs you want.
And make it the best. And if you want something that throws what I believe it going off course by wanting something that's like very different or something like that, well, it's my job then to be able to like work that back in and bring it in. You know what I mean?
Step by step.
And that's on the tattooer rather than just going,
oh no, it's not going to work.
No, that's not going to work. That'll look shit, or that won't work, or whatever. You know what I mean? Yep. Cool. We're in agreement then. We know what I mean.
When are we not in agreement?
Yep.
I would love to have it like one of our proper shop heated discussions or debates like what we do in the flesh every day on here.
There's no politics on the potty. But
I feel like we've really warmed up to this now, just an hour and a half in.
I know. Should we re-record it? No, this is the warm-up.
Yep. All right, so that's an hour and 27 minutes, 30 seconds. Our longest podcast by far.
I know. We might have to start doing splitting it into
two. The
two.
one was long.
Oh, yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
True. His was like 2. No, it wasn't 2 hours. Anyway, let's end this thing.
Thank you very, very much for coming along and listening yet again, season 2. You can find us at Carlisle Tattoo Co.
7 days.
7 days a week for Charlie. He loves my accents.
You're loving that accent,
Well, no, Charlie likes my accents.
Does he?
I've never said that.
He does.
Anyway.
And you can find Charles at Charles Cooper.
Charles Cooper Tattooing.
Tattooing.
On Instagram and TikTok?
At Instagram and TikTok.
No. Didn't you get blocked out of TikTok? Or are you back on?
We're working on that.
Okay. Bella, where can they find you?
Bella Hunter Tattoo.
On what platforms?
On the gram and the TikTok.
Yep. And you can find me, Hal Hunter X, on TikTok and Instagram, and
LinkedIn.
Hal Hunter, soon to YouTube.
Wow.
Yep.
Is that's the first time dropping it, isn't it?
It's 100%. I'm going to be putting one of the videos up.
And you can also find me on Depop as Hal Hunter.
Yeah.
I've used his name, not mine.
Yeah, I'm not the one selling weird clothes on there. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.